Hi everyone, Kim here at Olive City Homestead, Northern California, Zone 9B. This is my permaculture homestead, and in the next few days I am going to be bringing you a tour of the garden. What few annual things are growing now, not much, it's been so cold. The perennial veggies that grow year-round. Some of the fruit trees I have intermingled with the veggie garden that are just now starting to leaf out. The berry bushes, the new currant bushes I planted recently, a bunch of things like that. But for today, I thought I would share with you something to cheer you up and to cheer me up. I know that a lot of us have had crazy winter weather that's gone on far too long, and many of us have been frustrated, impatient with wanting to get things going, and yet it's just not warm enough yet. Finally here in Northern California, long past due, we are getting some sunshine and warm weather this week. So I thought I'd share with you some of the gorgeous flowers that are blooming and some lovely ornamental trees that are in blossom, birdsong in the background most of the time, and just a way for us all to get in the mood for spring. Because it is coming, no matter how cold it is where you are right now, it is coming. So, just a reminder to all of us that nature is on our side and we can enjoy it year-round, even if it's still a bit chilly. Well, a few weeks late, and after a lot of crazy wild weather, we are finally getting some springtime. Now, these are two trees I just planted a few months ago. This is a snow fountain weeping cherry, and it had white blossoms. I think there's a few still on here. Let's see. Yes, right there. But what I'm really thrilled about is that after the blossoms fade, you get these gorgeous, deep pink, almost fuchsia-like blossom remains. From a distance, it really does look like red cherries. And then behind this, I have my other weeping cherry. This one has pink blossoms. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head the name of this one, but I'll put it on the screen for you. But I am super pleased with how these have done. I mean, only having been in the ground for 3 months, I think now. Just a really pretty sight here at the front entrance of my property. I can't wait to see how these are going to look through the years, because they're only going to get taller, bigger, fuller, and prettier. Lavender is just blooming everywhere around here. This all goes back to one mother plant that I planted about 7 years ago, and it's still living. It's about to go into bloom itself right now. See all those? Yeah, they're about to bloom the deep purple that you see on the surrounding plants. So a few years ago, I deadheaded the mother plant and left all the dead buds on the ground all around the mother. And yeah, the next spring I had hundreds of little baby lavender seedlings, which I dug up, probably half of them, and potted them and planted some in the ground. Last year, I transplanted a lot of the little potted ones around the property, and those are all doing really well now. But I did leave this circle all around the mother plant because I just love lavender. So do the butterflies and bees, by the way. Here's one of the little seedlings I planted up last spring. I'll put a link to the very first lavender video I did, and maybe the follow-up one as well, in the description and at the end of this video, so you can see how simple it is. I haven't tried to repeat this because I think I really do have enough lavender around the property now. Oh, look at this. Isn't it gorgeous? Right next to some beautiful purple freesia I do need to go around the edges of these plants and do a little weeding of grass by hand because it's getting a little out of control with all the rain we've had. I do love freesia though because it's so, I was gonna say low maintenance, but really no maintenance, year after year. And it has so many vivid colors too. I have a bunch of orange ones and red ones and yellow ones. But I have to say, purple lavender, and this is Spanish lavender by the way, Lavandula stoicus, it holds a special place in my heart because it grows so well. I think it's the very first flower that I ever grew. Certainly also the very first one that ever volunteered by a seedlings the way it did. And my mother would have loved this plant because, for over a decade before she passed, she was known as the Purple Lady. And I have taken on purple flowers in her honor. Some purple Osteospermum here, African daisies, that I need to get in and deadhead. If you keep deadheading them, which I'm kind of famous for in my family, anywhere I go in public, I deadhead flowers. My kids are like, Mom! But you know, if you deadhead them, they just keep blooming, most flowers. So my only issue now is, you know, around this 2.5 acre property, I have a lot of flowers like this because Osteospermum, they just last and last, at least here in Zone 9B. And why wouldn't I want that, right? I have all different colors of them, but this purple is one of my favorite. As is this crimson Osteospermum here. These are super old plants. Started out as 2-inch seedlings I bought at the store for about $1 on clearance, and now they're just huge. And yeah, I need to get in and deadhead that one too. And it will just keep going. These actually bloom all winter here in Northern California. Laura petalum and Euryops blooming there in the foreground. They've really benefited from all the rain. I think I've mentioned before, but I do love having horses that live on the property next to mine because I can enjoy them like they were my own, but I don't have to take care of them or pay for them. Yellow narcissus, still blooming, but coming to the end of its bloom time. Right next to some more freesia. And these are just a glorious red with that gold center. So beautiful. And some yellow gold freesia about to burst into bloom here. And one of the lavender seedlings I popped into a container. It's doing well too. And just look at those vibrant ranunculus. I haven't grown these before. This is the first time, and I'm so pleased with how they've turned out. I'm going to be starting a lot more of them. Now, I don't know how they'll do once the heat kicks in, but even if I just get a month or 6 weeks of blooms, I will be so happy. Goodness, even if I just got 2 weeks. And behind them, I've got a little bit of grape hyacinth. Mums haven't bloomed yet. Oh, look at that. Blueberries blossoming. Thought this plant was a goner, but it survived the cold winter. But yeah, those yellow ranunculus, wow. My wallflower, the erysimum, still looking fabulous. One thing I love about erysimum, in addition to it getting so huge and looking so good, is that it looks good for a very long time. These have already been blooming for, at least a month, maybe even longer. Just so impressive and just so beautiful. More Osteospermum. These African daisies are a very interesting shade of pinkish lavender, sort of a mauve or something like that. I'm not an artist, so I don't know all the color names, but I do love those. Well, as you can see, I have a big field of borage here. And it is full, absolutely full of bees. I have to say, this is the first day of 2023 that I have heard and seen bee activity. It's just been pouring rain and freezing up till now. My kids and I have actually been saying this is what's going to happen. We're going to go from winter one day to summer the next day. That's definitely what it feels like today. And guess what? I'm not complaining. And going up the side of my stairs, I've got some violet Osteospermum and some 5-year-old crimson Osteospermum, oregano, gorgeous orange Gazanias, volunteer lettuce, freesia about to come into bloom, and here is some in bloom, a deep pink that is so lovely. I'm not usually a pink fan, but wow, I do love this dark pink freesia. Doing really well here. Next to the Gazanias. Gazanias are another flower I have that pops up everywhere. Lots of purple alyssum. And more of that red and gold freesia. Rosemary still blooming strong and abuzz with bees. A lot of narcissus blooming yellow in front of one of my strawberry trees. I just had to show you the blossoms on this quince tree. This is a pineapple quince. And when I came out here today to look at how it was doing, I was greeted with these little pale pink, almost rosebud-like blossoms. Now, I don't know what they're going to look like when they open, but I really can't wait to see. The tree really is full of them. Aren't they lovely? Calendula looking amazing. I love this flower. These tiny little plants grew into such bushes. Planning to make some body salve with these blossoms really soon. And a few more little starts I grew that I will transplant out in the garden in a day or two. So thanks for joining me today, everyone. Be sure to include in the comments below what flowers are blooming right now where you are. And if you're still under snow, what flowers are you starting in the house from seed? Or what bulbs are lurking under the ground ready to burst forth soon? If spring has already come to you and you're working out in the garden and your veggies are already growing, some of you I know because I've seen your videos showing all these great veggies. Well, congratulations and enjoy. And if it's still really cold where you are, just hang on. Spring will be here before you know it. Most important of all, remember, you can create the life and the garden you want. So why not start right now? Have a great week, everyone, and I'll see you next time.